Hi, good morning, everyone. We had a wonderful share last night for the training on the Zoom, and I know that some of you couldn't make it. And I was so excited that I forgot to hit record. So I thought it might be a good idea if I re-record what I went over. The goddesses that were on the call said it was quite helpful. So yeah. So what we kind of went through first, you'll see here, we're just going to go through the back office. And many of what I talk about, you'll know, but just in case there's something that you've missed along the way, or maybe you've just been using our beautiful oils and now you're coming to more of a place of sharing. So as we start to share, we want to kind of understand the back office so we can impart that and share that with others. So if you log into your back office and you go to your dashboard, we'll just start here with the loyalty rewards program. So when you enroll somebody new and they want to be a part of our amazing program, this is where the information shows. Now, when they first join, when anybody new joins, they would go into the loyalty program and their points and their percentage doesn't show for 60 days. So they actually need to be in that program for 60 days before the points percentage and the points that have accumulated from those last two orders show. So if anyone's wondering why it's not showing, that would be why. Now, what actually happens with this, so when you join somebody and they go into the loyalty program, they normally start at 10%. And then over a course of 13 months, they would increase. And if you go to doterratools.com and click on New Zealand market, you can download information about the loyalty rewards program, or you can go and get the link via the Ignite, www.ignitetribe.co.nz, and I've got all of those details on there. So you can, things that I talk about, you might want to go and download, and it's a really good idea to maybe put them into a folder so you've always got them and you can kind of look over them, and anything you don't understand you can clarify with the person who joined you or with somebody else or myself in doTERRA. So that's really great. So something quite that a lot of people may not be aware of is that when you join with a bigger kit, so when you join with like a home essentials kit or one of the smaller home kits, you automatically start at 10%. But then as you go up with the kits, you can then start at higher percentages. So it's called fast track. So a lot of the US enrollment kits, which you can get from doTERRA Tools as well for the New Zealand market, you start at a higher percentage. So because I purchased the diamond kit, I came onto the loyalty program at 25%, which showed after the 60 days. And I also got 400 free credits, plus whatever credits I had accumulated. So there's real benefits to buying larger kits. Some people aren't aware of that. So that's great to share. Now, when you introduce somebody to doTERRA and you are then called their enroller, okay? So what happens when you are their enroller, provided that you have a loyalty rewards order set up for 100 PV or more, you will then benefit from commission. Okay, so if you download your commission plan, which is also in the link, and I will send you the link to download that, and you look on your commission plan, you'll see there is a few ways to earn. So Fast Start is one of them, and Fast Start is amazing. So I'll just explain how Fast Start works. So what happens is when you enroll somebody, provided you've got that 100 PV loyalty order template set up, And it's always got to be at 100 PV, okay, because it checks in on the template rather than if you did 2 orders that equaled 100 PV. It doesn't check on that, it checks on the template. So if you ever drop your orders below 100, always set your template back to 100 PV. A few people get caught out on that, so it's good to know. So what actually happens is doTERRA, they are so amazing that they will give you 20% of that person's first 60 days. So their enrollment order and then anything they order in the first 60 days, you will receive 20%. Now, how this works and how it builds for community is the person that enrolled you will also receive 10% of that order. And the person who enrolled them will receive 5%. So that's a really amazing offer. And it normally shows under here, under your earnings, and it is paid out every Wednesday. So it can be quite a powerful tool. We did an oil share for a beautiful lady, and she hadn't joined doTERRA yet. But what she did on the day of the oil share was she decided she was going to join. So what we did was we joined her up, we enrolled her as a wellness advocate. We set up her 100 PV loyalty order. And then everybody that was at that oil share, rather than us enrolling them because we did the share, we put this beautiful lady as the enroller, okay? So that meant that she could straight away benefit from Fast Start. And so when her loyalty order is ready to go out, she'll have enough to pay for it already. So that's where it works really well. And just talking about a little bit of integrity around who enrolls who. So when I do oil shares for people on our team, I always say that any contacts that come to that oil share that are theirs, they become the enroller, not me, okay? So they enroll, they become the enroller, so they get that main Fast Start. It's really important to be doing that, and it really builds team and community. So yeah, just coming from integrity there. Sometimes when I do larger oil shares, there'll be all sorts of people there, people that are not even going to be on necessarily my team. They may have already been talking to someone else about doTERRA. They may have received samples from them. So it's always good to ask, have you been dealing with someone else? Has someone else been helping you already? And if so, then they are the enroller. Yeah. Okay, so after the 60 days, they then roll over to what's called the compensation plan, and you'll see that on page 2 of the compensation plan. And it's an amazing plan because it works quite differently from other compensation plans, in that as you go down, as your team goes down in depth, the percentage increases, whereas normally it's the other way around. So normally at the top you get, a higher percentage. And so what actually happens though is your tree expands out like this. So it's actually at the bottom where you want to be getting the higher percentage. So there's lots of YouTube videos and training videos more about the uni-level plan, which I won't go into too much detail because I'll give you a link for those. But just to say that what we want to do, and I'll show you how we should be building our teams, just so you know it goes down. And another special thing about it is if you have somebody on your tree that's not ordering anything, then it works by dynamic compression. So the next person under them who orders will then come up into that space. So you're getting paid 7 levels down, but even if some of those people on any of those levels, my phone's ringing. Oh, just leave a message, please. Any of those levels are not ordering, it will push up. So you'll always get the benefit of that. Now in here, my AR balance, this means accounts receivable. So that's where it shows all of the income that you've earned of fast start, commissions, etc., etc. Now, with that money in there, there's a few things you can do with that. So with your loyalty order, if it's going to ship on the 10th of the month, say, you can ring doTERRA before it ships, so ring on the 9th, and ask them to apply your AR balance so that you can pay for your order, which is great. And as you start growing a little bit more and that balance grows up a little bit more, what you can do, if you come up to Wellness Advocate Services and you come down to ProPay registration, you can actually register for a ProPay card, which is a MasterCard, okay? And it takes a while to get one, so it's quite good to get the wheels in motion. And what happens is you receive that MasterCard, and every time your balance kind of gets to an amount, so what I do is if it's 500, then I'll ring up doTERRA and I'll say, could you please put 500 of my accounts receivable balance on my MasterCard, which means I can go and use that for other things, not just doTERRA. So that's an option moving forward. Okay. Okay, other ways to earn in doTERRA, you'll see on the right, I think, of the compensation plan is power of 3. So I'll talk a little bit into how you can be receiving your power of 3. And then I'm going to talk a little bit into how we place people. So let's just have a look on here. Okay, so this is my mum's account, okay? So we're on my mum's account. So when you click in and you get the detail, you will see here that my mum has qualified for a power of 3. Now, how you qualify is yourself at the top of the tree or as the enroller and 3 people on your front line, okay? It can be any of these people that are on the very front line. You need to have a total combined volume for the month of 600 PV. Okay, so what that would mean if you divide that by 4, that would be 150 PV each. However, so you'll see my mum has a big volume this month, so she's got 311. So she doesn't need as much from the others to make up to the 600. However, they must be a minimum of 100 PV because you can't qualify for any commission if you're not. So, you know, these 3 here would have to be 100 PV. So at the moment they're not. These 2 are and this one's not. So what happens is that means the $50 bonus, mum may not get that this month. I pretty much get mine each month because the 3 people on my front line are definitely builders. And it's not always going to work out because maybe the first person that you enroll is not really sharing the oils, or, you know, it just depends what happens. So I look at this as a bonus. I don't look at it like, oh my gosh, I've got to have this power of 3. This is just a bonus that happens as you go along. And sometimes if these 3 people here, 1, 2, 3, if the 3 people below them were all doing the same and they were adding up to that 600 PV and all had minimum loyalty templates or orders of 100 PV, then the next person gets the $50, but the person above would get 250, which is really, really awesome. I've had that a few times, and that's a really great bonus because that's 250 US. So just another way that you can be earning, which is whoop, whoop, very cool. And, you know, when we're sharing these oils and we're giving so much of ourselves, you know, it really is a business, so we should be rewarded for doing what we're doing. I share from the heart. I share oils with all sorts of people, and I just see it like this is like an abundance, and it's a co-creation, and we're all working together. So what happens in doTERRA, if you're not a team player and you're not helping others, you're not going to grow and you're not going to have sustainable growth. It just doesn't support any other model other than that, and that's what I love about it. So it's really, really cool. Okay, so the next thing I want to just touch on and have a look at, not to confuse you too much, but I want to look at placements, okay? So if we come in under team, and so we'll just see here, this compensation plan here. So mum's got 5 on her front level, 15 on her second, 15 on her third, 6 on her fourth, and 1 on her fifth, okay? Now, the reason she's got so many across is because when we started doTERRA, we didn't really know, well, I didn't really know how to build. So I didn't really know much. So I was just putting people everywhere, but actually you really want to be building down and not across for sustainable growth and to support each other, because every time you put someone under someone else, everybody above them benefits. So yeah, I didn't really know too much about that, and I was building more for power of 3. But yeah, you live and you learn, and now this is why I'm sharing, right? Okay, so let's come to this graphical tree. So when you enroll somebody in doTERRA, you become their enroller. So I've done on the resource page the difference between an enroller and a sponsor, okay, but I'll just lightly touch on it. So you become the enroller, and you can then place them anywhere on your team, okay? The person you place them under becomes the sponsor. So they're going to benefit, and anyone else through the line will benefit, okay? So for instance, what you want to be aiming to do, so mum has, what has she got here? She's got 3 across, which is great because you actually do want to aim for that. But what I would say when you first start out is aim to build 2 legs first rather than 3, because it takes so much longer to reach ranks by building across. You're better to build 2, and I'll show you why in a moment. So what you want to try and do, and it sometimes can be hard when you're first starting out because you don't really know if someone's going to be a builder, and they haven't experienced the profound benefits of the oils, so they may not be interested in sharing. They may just be using and then using oils, and then they may change to a builder. So it's a bit of guesswork and it's a bit of intuition, but there's a few things that I like to kind of stick to that may help you as well. So, mum's got her 2 builders here, and these 2 are really builders. So they are actually building the business. So that's worked out really great. And so you want to kind of keep your builders on your level 1 and 2, level 1 and level 2. Sometimes they might be planted down lower because they'll manifest into builders, and that's fine as well. It doesn't really matter too much. So then what you want to do is empower this builder to then build 2 legs, okay? So at the moment, this builder's got a leg here which is building down really well, okay? So, and it's just building down and down and down, which is what we want. So if we click on here, yeah, so that's just the bottom of the tree. So we'll just come back to graphical tree now. And then this person here has been, so these 2 legs are not, they're not on loyalty order. So you can see they're not on loyalty order. So they're not really building those legs, but these 2 are. So that's good. She's got 2 legs and she can keep building underneath that. If you're unsure where to place people, the great thing about the system is when you enroll someone, you can put yourself as the enroller and yourself as the sponsor, and they will then sit on your front line which is on here, and you have, I think it's they say 14, but it's actually more like 12 days to shift them. So then you can, in those 12 days, you can kind of, they might have got the oils, and you can talk to them a little bit about, what they see doing with those. Some people straight away say, look, I'm a yoga instructor, I want to use this in my work, or I'm a psychiatrist, I want to work with, so that they're going to build, but other people you may not be really sure. So you can kind of work that out or feel into it. Contact me or somebody else in the team who's been placing people that can help you. So what I try to do when I'm placing people, because obviously now when I'm enrolling, I'm always placing people under someone else, really, because I've got my front line really sorted. So now I'm gifting and putting people under people type thing. So I try to keep the same sort of group together. So this group here is like a group of mums, really, and that works really well. This is another group of, I guess you could say, quite enlightened people, quite spiritual people, that type of thing. And this is Mum's Tree, but I'm just explaining Mum's Tree. And then this is another group of people. So for my three, for Sue, who's my second builder, who's like Mum, so she's my second builder. We have like a daycare leg, and we have a South Island leg, and now we're starting to grow a UK leg. So you can kind of see how it works in together. And then my third builder, Adam, he's down in Tauranga, so I put all my Tauranga contacts over there. So it kind of, works in together, and you'd place people together that are going to work together. So yeah, that works really well. Now, what else can I explain? Oh yes, so these are the ranks up here. So what this is saying is that the highest rank Mum has ever reached is elite, okay? And then the highest rank that this person has achieved is executive. So that will tell you their highest rank. I'm just going to go into rank because it will help you understand why we place people below people. So we'll come back to the dashboard, and here. So what it's saying is that this month, for May, at present, Colleen Brown is an executive, okay? If you click on elite, it will tell you how much more she's got to go, okay? So we can see here, to be an elite, you have to have an overall volume of 3,000 from your team. So Mum has like $63 to go, so she'll definitely hit that in May. And then it goes up. So this is where it gets important. After elite, so these first 5, it's just an overall volume, okay, for your team. Once you want to hit Premier, which is really great, because when you get to Premier, you start getting empowerment bonuses and all different kind of bonuses to thank you for sharing the love and the oils. So it's really, really cool. So a Premier is a step up. It's an overall volume of 5,000, okay? But here's where placements become important. You need to hit Premier, you would need to have 2 executives on your team in different leagues, okay? So you can't have 2 executives in the same league. They've got to be in different leagues, which is why you really want to be building, 2 legs and putting the volume under those legs, because that will equate to an executive. So what's an executive? An executive has 2,000 overall volume. Okay, so that would mean that in 2 of your legs, you would need at least 2,000 overall volume, but you actually need more than that because you need to make it up to 5. So, you might have a third leg where there's some volume, or your order counts as part of that volume, and there might be a bit more volume in this leg, and it will add up to that. So you can start to see why it becomes important how you build, because if you had all your volume across your front line, you're not going to get that. You're not going to get to executive. You're not going to get people below you to executive. Now, the other important thing is that these two executives must be enrolled by mum. She must hold the enrollship. I'll just go back to the graphical tree. So what that's saying is that one person in this entire leg here has to hit executive, and one person in this entire leg here has to hit executive, okay? Now, whoever hits it must be enrolled by mum, all right? But if they were enrolled by me, which in this case, this lady was enrolled by me, what I can do is gift enrollship to my mum. Isn't that cool? So as we come to the end of the month and I see that, wow, mum could hit Premier if I gave this enrollship to her, then obviously I'm going to do that, because this is like one of my legs, okay? So I can only rank advance off one person in this leg that I've enrolled, and that's my mum. So obviously I want to rank advance off my mum, and I want to see her rank advance as well, because it helps me as well. Yeah, so this is where the gifting and the community and the teamwork really comes in. So that's really cool. And you can only gift once in a lifetime. So that's it. Once you've gifted that person, then that person stays with that person, which is cool anyway. So yeah, so that works out really well. Now I'll just show you the difference. So when you come from Premier to Silver, Silver's where you need 3 elites underneath you. So the 5,000 volume stays the same, but this is where you would need 3 legs. So then you would want to be, when you're after Premier, you'd want to start building your 3rd leg and building that down. Yeah, so that works out really well. Okay, hopefully that explains a little bit around that. Now, what is the next thing that we covered? Okay, yes, let's talk about that. So, there's so many ways to share doTERRA, okay? And you will find your own way. You will find the way that works for you. It doesn't mean that you have to be all doing oil shares, or, you know, that you have to be doing it the way that I'm doing it. And I think one of the most profound things is to actually sit down and work out why you do doTERRA and why you want to share it. Because when you get your why really down packed and cemented, it becomes very easy to share. So if you go to www.vanessabrown.co.nz and go to a blog there about finding your why, there's some tips on how you can find your why, okay? Because then when people say to you, why do you do doTERRA, you're going to immediately be able to tell them, rather than saying, oh, because the oils are amazing. Because people buy why you do, not what you do. Yeah, so if you can, share an experience, or, it's something heartfelt and it's something honest and truthful for you. So it's really good to actually get that sorted. Another way that I've found and I've witnessed to be quite powerful in sharing is getting some bulk bottles, some just little 2 ml ones. I like the amber bottles. You can get them from AliExpress or wherever else you might find them. And I'm always listening to people. So people will share with you their struggles, okay? Most people are struggling, and most people don't know which way to go, okay? So what I sometimes say to people, look, do you want to share with me a couple of things you're struggling with? And I'll give you a sample, I'll gift you a sample. And I always say to them that I always sort of, rather than just giving the sample and forgetting about it, the follow-up is really, really important, okay? So I would then say, look, can I then give you a call in a couple of weeks and see how you're finding it and get some feedback? And if you decide that this is something that's going to work for you, can I have your commitment that you'll come via me? Now, it's really important to get that out and get that clear, because you can become really disheartened when you're giving away lots of samples and then other people are taking your enrollship, and you've spent the time with that person. So I think communication is a really good key there. And, you know, generally people will experience a shift. And you'll know what they need because you can go to the Modern Essentials app, or you can go to the Modern Essentials book, which is amazing. I think as we share the oils, we should really have the book. Or you can go to the Essential Oils Wellness Facebook page and ask, or you can flick somebody a message. Like, there's so much support out there, and somebody's probably used it for the purpose that that person is wanting. So that's you know, one way of sharing. In our team website, under resources, you'll see authentic ways to share. So I've got a few ways there. Another way that's really amazing, I think everybody who's sharing should get one of these kits. It is called Local Empower Kit, and it comes from the Australian market. Okay, and it has 30 class handouts, 30 enrolment forms, so forms that they would fill out that you would then enroll them off, 30 price lists, and 30 enrolment kits, just for the Aussie market, okay? So you can always print off doTERRA tills the US kits, just in case, like sometimes we go to oil shares and people say, well, I want a whole entire kit, I want an every oil kit. So that comes from the US, so it's good to have that on hand. Now this kit is so amazing. You can teach a class very easily off this kit. It also has 10 free wild orange bottles, which I always say that anybody who enrolls with a Home Essentials kit and above on the night or on the day of the share receives a free wild orange oil. So that's, you can use it in that way, which is really great. So on another training call, I'll actually just do one of those classes off the Empower Kit just to show you how easy it is. This month we've had lots of beautiful goddesses in our team stepping forward and using that kit, and yeah, their teams are growing and they're able to share this with so many people, and it just makes it so much easier, because I think before when I was doing all shares at first, you know, I was doing amazing PowerPoints and I had amazing videos, but what it was actually showing people is that, oh, I couldn't do that, you know. So this makes it really easy and simple for any of us to share, because we've all been using the oils and we know what how amazing they are. Yeah. So what else did I want to go over? Okay, I think it'll be really good, because we went over it last night, if I just showed you the different ways that you can join someone up. So one option is they can go to your website, okay? So if you see this website tab here, you can get your website address there, okay? And that's what you can give away, you can give to people to enroll. My experience of that is they often get lost and they're not sure what to order and da-da-da, so I actually do it for them, but it's up to you. And you can choose your own website name. You can put a photo and a short intro. So I'll just whip over to my website. Mine is Empowered Being. Yeah, so that's what it looks like to them. So, you know, you can send people here if they want to have a look. Always give them your website, because then, you know, they're going to come through you. So there's a couple of ways that people can experience doTERRA oils. The first way is they can go to the shop tab and they could purchase retail, okay? So retail means they're paying 25% above wholesale, and they go direct to doTERRA and it gets directly shipped to their house. So we don't actually have an agreement in New Zealand yet that allows us to sell doTERRA out of our homes, okay, at retail. So we can't actually, or our businesses, we can display them in our businesses, but if people want to buy retail, they have to go direct to doTERRA, because we don't have an agreement with the New Zealand government. Hopefully we will one day as we grow. So that's why we want to be really integral to that, so that we don't breach anything there. And I have known of people's accounts being stopped for doing that, so we don't really want that to be happening. Okay, so you would send them there, but nobody really buys retail off me, because it's not I just think it's so expensive, and you can easily get back your $35 enrollment fee from your wholesale account, on a couple of orders. So it's way more empowering that they have their own online account. But just say somebody did buy retail, you would then see the 25% in your accounts receivable balance. Yeah. So then we would just go to here, join and save. Now we would choose New Zealand or wherever they live. They might be in Australia or anywhere else. This is where you'll be choosing Australian products if they're buying an Australian enrolment kit. If they're buying a US enrolment kit, you would choose US. Okay, now here at this point, I always recommend to go for the first option, which is Wellness Advocate. This preferred member is very restrictive. It gives them 20% discount rather than 25%, and it only puts them on your front line, so you can't move them in your team. However, preferred member is actually going in maybe a month, or supposed to be 1st of June, but coming up soon. And it's going to be called Wellness Advocate and Wholesale Customer. Okay, so they will both receive 25% discount on all purchases. They will both have that option to join the loyalty rewards program, which is amazing. So, I'm getting 30% back on that program now. So it's like I'm paying 55% below retail, really. And I'm putting all sorts on there. I order from the US one month and then order from Aussie another month, or sometimes just the US because it's so fast. And, get my hair care, face care, everything. So it's all under one roof. My supplements, flying my body to wellness. So, yes, so they'll both be eligible to the free product of the month, which is when you have a 125 PV order, loyalty order. Sorry, it's got to be a loyalty order. No monthly order required. So what that means is you can just have your wholesale account without the loyalty program and just order one-offs. It's up to you. Now, here's the difference. So Wellness Advocate will be able to earn compensation and bonuses for sharing with others. And they'll be able to sign up new wholesale customers and wellness advocates. The difference when this changes to wholesale customer is a wholesale customer, you couldn't place anyone under them. Okay, and if they decide after they've joined, oh my goodness, I really want to share this, they won't be able to benefit on the fast start and all those types of things until they have been a wholesale customer for 90 days. So they kind of have to wait 3 months till they can share. So yeah, most people will probably still want to go for Wellness Advocate, but yeah, it's up to them. So what the cool thing about it with both options is you're still going to have that 14 days to shift them. So you can kind of work out where you would put them. Obviously, if they're a wholesale customer, you would put them lower down in your organization. And if they were a Wellness Advocate going to share, you would keep them a little bit further up. Yeah, so that works out really cool. Now, what else? So I can go to the next page, but obviously I'm not enrolling anyone. So see here, it's got because I've gone through my link, it's got my number and my sponsor ID. So personally, I just leave that there so that they'll be on my front line and then I'll shift them. But you must diary note it, because if you don't, you forget and you leave them on your front line, you can't shift them. So Doterra won't let you shift them. I just like that 14-day too, because so much can change. Like a couple of people can come on board in that time and you can kind of work out where everyone's going to be suited best. Yes. So just around the fees. So when somebody joins with a kit, regardless of US or Australian, the 35 Australian or US is waived. When somebody just wants to customize their oils, so they're not going to have an enrollment kit, they pay the 35 and then they choose the oils that they want. If they order online, which it is, from the US, all of their shipping for the enrollment order is credited back in points. For the US only. For Australia, no, you pay for your shipping. And also, if you're ordering online, your monthly orders, you get that shipping back as well from the US only. So that is actually a bonus. Okay. So always when you're enrolling people, because you'll go through and you'll put their kit, and then it will ask you about the loyalty rewards program. Okay. So if they're looking for long-term sustainable wellness, then they'll want to be on that program. So you want to help them kind of find what's going to suit them the most, depending on their needs. So you can find that out just by talking to them and recommending. Or the other way, what I like to do is if they're not quite sure and they want to get back to me on what they're struggling with, or someone in their family struggling with, I then go and see them within so many days of them getting their kit, and do what's called the Live Guide, which you download from Share Success. So you just go through a process with them to work out long term what their next few orders could be, which is really helpful for them. And then they're really going to experience a shift. And excuse me, I'm pregnant and I have heartburn, which I need some digesting. So what I'm going to do in another training call is show you how we go through that guide. So that will help you as well. So that's really great. What else around that? Oh, if you're ordering like a home essentials kit or the smaller kit, I would recommend to them that they get fractionated coconut oil, because we really need to be diluting for our children, and for a lot of adults are sensitive as well. And by diluting, it's actually a really effective way to be topically putting on the oils. So that's something key to remember too, so they don't get their kits and then they're like, oh no, I don't have anything to dilute with. What I actually do is, excuse me, is I buy the bottles in bulk, the 10 ml bottles from AliExpress, and then I don't know what they work out, but they cost me $1 and I sell them for $1. So then when they get their kit, they can buy 10 of them off me, and they can have them in the pre-rollers and in the drop bottles for diffusing. So the other thing is, when you enroll someone, definitely send them a welcome letter. You're welcome to go to our team website, and on the resources is a welcome letter that I send. So you can use it as a guideline, make it your own, but there's lots of information on there that they'll need. So they'll need to know how to get them on an essentials book. They'll need to know when I want to amend my loyalty order, how do I do that? They'll need to know where all these tools are. So help them out with that, and always check in with them. How are you using your oils? How are you finding them? Do you have questions? Make them feel really part of the tribe. Yeah. So let's see what else we can do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that pretty much covers it. One thing just to note, so when they are ordering a kit, so if they're ordering the smaller kit and they want to benefit from that 10% on the loyalty program, or they're ordering a larger kit and they want to get that percentage and those product credits, when I was discussing Fast Track. So you would need to set up their loyalty order at the time of enrolling them for them to be able to do that. So if you're not sure at the time of enrolling them what products they need, I would just set it up so that the template sits at 100, and then go and meet with them and change the products on there. At least it's then set up and they're not going to miss out on, some massive savings. So that's just something to note as well. Yeah. And I guess in sharing, never assume to know what people want. So like I never assume anything. I just say to people, look, how committed are you? And what do you want to achieve from this? And, you know, most people will tell you they really want some help. And most people are really committed to their health. So, yeah, it's really important. Just another couple of things I just wanted to mention about the loyalty rewards program. So just so you know, when you've got a loyalty or someone else has, I'll actually close this out and we'll go back to the screen, dashboard. So, at the moment, Mum's got a few points and she's sitting at 30%, okay? To maintain that 30% level and maintain those points, she must put in a minimum of a 1P or 1 PV order, okay? If she misses her order for a month, that will go back to 0, and so will that. So you don't really want to be doing that. So even if you ordered a toothpaste or anything like that, for Mum to earn 30% on her order must be a minimum of 50 PV. Okay, so if you're just ordering one-off oils, you're not going to earn the points, okay? To receive commissions, obviously 100 PV and 125 PV to receive that free product of the month. Now, for free product of the month, you can't do a US order of 100 PV and an Australian order of 25 and add it together. It doesn't work like that. So it's from one warehouse. Yeah. However, for your monthly uni level commissions, they will be added together. So say if you did a 50 PV order from Australia and a 50 PV order from the US, at the end of the month, they would say, yes, this person spent 100 PV, so they will get the uni level. But remember, for fast start, your template always needs to be 100 PV. So always set it back up so you don't miss out on that. Yeah. All right, I think that will pretty much cover it for today. Hopefully that helps you some more. If you have any questions, please email them to me, vanessa@vanessabrown.co.nz, and I will more than happy answer them. And yeah, we'll just roll with it, see when baby's arriving and work out when we're going to do another one of these. But I think it's really great because we can, you know, we're sitting in our own home and we can have these meetings, which is awesome. And it's just good to throw around ideas and, yeah, see where we're all at and see other people that are on our beautiful team. Yeah. So, yeah, thanks so much. Have a great day.